Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. It is Saturday, and if everything went right, we should be kicking back and celebrating just about at the 2,000 or maybe just a little past the 2,000 subscriber threshold, which is kind of fantastic. And honestly, if we're already there, it doesn't matter. If this is early, it's fine. Thank you guys, because you're the ones. You right there on the other side of this device. You are one of the people who have made this possible, and for that, I thank you greatly. Back to what's normal. We got another deck today, and again, we're going to be going Tier 2 Speed Duel, meaning that we are going to be going with the new competitive ban list. Again, this ban list should be like another week or so out before it's actually official. So these decks are geared towards that and not the current one. So that said, I did say, what was it, like 2 days ago, we were going to be doing some elemental heroes to kick it off. This time we're going to be using a different skill card. We're going to be using Here Goes Something. Now again, I love this for Flame Wingman because this gives him some just fantastic OTK burning potential. So when we use this skill, flip this over when you activate the skill. Once per duel, you can activate this at the start of your battle phase if you control exactly one elemental hero monster card and no other monsters. For the remainder of this turn, that one monster gains 800 additional attack points while battling an opponent's monster and can attack all monsters the opponent controls once each. You cannot special summon for the remainder of the turn, but that's fine. We're already in the battle phase. What they're trying to say is no diffusion afterward, okay? Diffusion, super strong spell card. Probably should be putting it in my side deck still. Is what it is, right? So Here Goes Something is going to take our Flame Wingman from that 2,100 to 2,900. And then again, once we start dealing with the Flame Wingman effect, it's very easy to take like the full 4,000 off of the opponent real quick like. So this is still going to be just like a very lightly modified variant of our previous deck. So this time, I'm going to be using 2 copies of both Avion and Burstinatrix. And again, this is because I went with a different type of ratio count and everything. And it works, but this one's still sort of a glass cannon. So if you guys are going to play this one, yeah, probably better at locals. Maybe not pull this one at the regional event. Just because it probably won't run the way you want it to all the time. But again, since Flame Wingman is our go-to and our goal, we need those girls, or that guy and that girl. Additionally, we're going to go with this girl, which is why I was starting off with that, was we need the Goddess of the Third Eye. Again, it's a fusion substitution. It can substitute as any one fusion material monster that has specifically named on the card. And again, so whichever one you do or don't have, this becomes the opposite. And then last up for the monsters, we are going to be using 2 Sphere Karibo still, because there's still going to be those times where you are going to go second, and Sphere Karibo is still kind of good for that. So just remember, it is a defensive effect only. The opponent's monster does have to declare an attack, so it's not like we just set the monster into defense mode and actually activate it like an enemy controller. But it is great, especially because we did back off of our defensive options, like there's no traps in the main build, so keep that in mind. Moving into the spells, we are going to be playing 2 copies of A Hero Lives. And again, if you control no monsters, you may pay half your life points. Special summon a level 4 lower elemental hero from your deck. Again, we stacked this with 3 goddesses, 2 of each of the heroes. I didn't want too many of the heroes. These would be the 3rd copies. Again, you guys could do what you want, or thinking about it, you could play one. So you play like Burstinatrix for half your hit points. You just keep her, fuse the Avion and the Goddess, and then you can. You still wouldn't be able to do the Here Goes Something, but like if you had to play differently, this would allow you to end with more monsters on board. So like depending on the strategy and the way that turn flows, you might need that. Again, 1 Book of Moon, just a good option. We will be using 2 Cosmic Cyclones because we definitely want to hate on the back row. To complement that, we're going to get a Night Beam in there because it's not yet limited at all. So this lets us have 3 back row disrupts. Offerings to the Doomed. Again, maybe there's just something that's it's too punchy, it's too big, it's just outside of your class. It could be, like Master of Oz, Cyber End Dragon, Blue Eyes Ultimate, whatever. If the card is just too big, sometimes you just got to get rid of it. And then, like I said, this might be one of those moves where then you end up with Flame Wingman and a friend. So that's always the thing. Since we're not using the skill that allows us to fuse, you will need to get a couple copies of polymerization in your build. And then just to round it out, one reinforcement of the army, just again, trying to auto-correct the hand. If there's a one-of that you'd prefer to be in here, this could be a good way to swap this out for... I'm going to go with like Zoma maybe. Zoma would be a good one-of here. And then last up, just a copy of Shrink. Again, maybe you don't want to get the offerings to the Doomed in here. Maybe you want to double up on the Shrink. Also not on the limitations list yet. And then you could shrink a monster twice. So again, as long as it is an obelisk with his cannot be targeted effect, you would be able to shrink down something like the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. And if I did the math real quick, 45 and a half would be 22.5, something like that. And then a half again would be somewhere in or around the 11,000 or 10,070 something. It doesn't matter. The point here is, at that power level, you could absolutely blast the Blue Eyes Ultimate then. And then through the Flame Wingman effect, you're dealing damage based on its attack value in the graveyard, not what it had on the field. So again, the stronger it was on the field, the better off your damage is going to look afterward. Plus, you are getting the extra 800. So, real quick, that is our deck. That is, it should be 20 cards. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 13, 16, 20. So it is a 20-card main deck. Guys, take that screenshot or maybe pause it with some notes momentarily. And I'll be right back with the extra and the side decks. All right, so getting straight into it again, we are going to run one Flame Wingman. Could you run two? Yes, you could. We are really running the double polymerization as a consistency thing. So again, I'm only going to go with the one because in the second and third games, I'm going to be using my Waking the Dragon. I always do, which allows me to play the following cast members. Blue Eyes Ultimate, Cyber Blader, Cyber End, Oja King, and T-Restrict. Again, maybe you guys don't have the budget for Blue Eyes. Maybe you didn't have the right pulls that I did at the beginning of the game. Go ahead and substitute your Master of Oz if you need to. Definitely brings down some of the value in the deck. And then the side is literally just good options. So we run the double Lost Wind because, again, Fusion Era. We run a double Waking for consistency of our side. And we run a double Wall of Disruption because, again, a lot of the characters in the main deck are smaller. And since we do want to go with a smaller 20-card build, rather than edging this all the way up to a 30 and then just adding a bunch more options into the deck, I wanted to go as sleek and as low count as possible because, number one, that's my play style. And two, like, realistically, guys, if you look at the ratios, and I'm going to use this little guy right here, because not just because of the D&D stuff that we've been doing on the channel, but because this is an excellent representative, actually, of the main deck. The main deck is 20 cards. This is 20 sides. If you want to get that in percentile, each card is one of these. And it's like, okay, you drew card 12, card 3, card 1, and card 20. Don't ask me how I get a nat 1 and a nat 20 like that. I'm not even sure. This thing is not loaded. And it's not a spin down, so it's not like I could just cheat that. But the point here is every card has the same odds of being pulled as one of these sides of dice. So, or side of this die. So every card is realistically like 5%, because again, 100% divided by 20 options gives you 5 percentile chance. And again, once you start increasing that, once you get it up to 30, then you're going to need, more dice to figure out exactly what it is that you're doing. And unless you want to roll like 3 of these D10s around, just to figure out which each card was. And again, you probably don't want to do that. Would just be rather annoying. So I keep the counts low on purpose for consistency. Gives you a higher probability of drawing into the correct amount of cards to perform the strategy. And that's really all there is to that. That got kind of convoluted. I probably should have wrote that down instead of trying to do that one off the cuff. But do me a favor, guys. Enjoy this. Go out there. Try this. And you know what? Just have a great day, okay? It's the start of the weekend. I may or may not be like real close, like really close to 2K. Again, I'm projecting based on earlier in the week's numbers. So if we made it, woohoo. If we didn't, hey, we'll get there. Either way, it's all thanks to you guys. I hope that you continue to enjoy the channel. Do the things if you want to, don't if you don't, and I'll hope to see you guys again next time. Later.